If you have ever heard about the country called the Maldives, then most probably the picture in your head looks something like this. Water villas, honeymoon suites, and extreme luxury that comes with a heavy price tag. It's really no surprise that most of the world sees Maldives as this luxury paradise. Literally millions of dollars are spent each year by the same resorts to maintain this reputation. And this is exactly what they want you to think. Yet this country is changing fast. Local islands are gaining more popularity amongst visitors, and in this video I want to show you the whole picture, from the unique culture and nature of this land to ways how to spend 10 times less money on exactly the same activities. And I just have to add that I have nothing against resorts. If your travel budget allows you to spend thousands of dollars a day while laying on a beach, then they're probably the best option for you. But the whole point is to give you complete information so that you would not be forced into decisions and price tags that are simply unfair. But now, let's start from the very beginning. It all pretty much started 5 decades ago. The year was 1972, and by the joint efforts of an Italian travel agent and a Maldivian pioneer, the first luxury resort opened its doors. Well, and like they say, the rest is history. The pristine ocean, beautiful beaches, and never-changing warm temperature quickly became a huge hit all around the world. And the country Maldives started to develop a reputation as the dream holiday destination. In the following 51 years, another 171 resorts have opened their doors. It literally means that over the last 5 decades, every year more than 3 islands have been turned into resorts. And by now, nearly 15% of all Maldivian islands are only for rich tourists. You might be thinking, why is this a problem? Tourism, after all, brings money to the country, which benefits all its citizens. But there is a catch, and it's also the first thing that many resorts would rather not tell you. Most of those luxury establishments are owned by big international companies. And so the huge amount of money that foreigners spend here never make it to the local communities. But to make it even worse, until the year 2008, this country had a rather closed off and, well, self-centered government. For example, tourists were not even allowed to stay on local islands. Before that, tourists could only go to the resorts and only stay on Resorts Island, pretty much to prevent new ideas from flowing into the society. And so the tax dollars from the resorts only strengthened the government's grip over its people. Yet by year 2008, Maldivian locals had had enough. This led to many changes in the society. First, democratic elections were held, and finally, in 2009, for the first time, this country also allowed tourists on local islands.
Respect the locals.
That meant the boom in Maldivian economy. Hundreds of guest houses opened its doors. We just arrived in Tigura and we were given like cold, wet towels, cold drink.
I'm used to living in the car. Thank you, I'm not used to this.
It's true luxury. Thank you so much. But for the resorts, it meant that for the first time in almost 40 years of operation, they had competition. The systems they had built in decades were designed to make as much money as possible. And suddenly, there were others doing the same thing for the fraction of the price. I'll give you an example. When you book a place in the Maldives, the first message you receive is about booking your transfer. Yeah, it happens every time. We just booked ourselves a hotel in the next island over, and like 15 minutes later there's a message offering us to organize the transfer. But what's cool is that these guys didn't only offer us the most expensive one, but they sent us a price list of 3 different things. A 20-minute seaplane ride to a resort can easily cost $200 per person. I think it's landing just over there. But did you know you can also get a 1-hour speedboat to the exact same place for about $25? Or if you really want to cut costs, then local ferry prices range from $1.50 to $4 per person. But of course the local ferries are not quite as flexible as the speedboats. Guys, if you would like to have more information about public transport and how to save money here on the Maldives, then in the end of this video I will literally show you where all of this information can be found. But I hope that for now this point helped to show you that after 2009 the resorts were in trouble. For the first time in 40 years they had to change tactics and fight for their survival. The way the resorts did it was a huge surprise to everyone. Instead of lowering their prices to compete with the new local establishments, they did the opposite and even rose their prices to fund the new advertising campaign. As it turns out, the plan worked better than anyone would have hoped. Hundreds of bloggers, YouTubers and Instagram models were offered free stays in the resorts in exchange for advertising and enforcing the luxury image of this country. Moreover, there are literally thousands of travel agents all around the world who now receive big commissions every time they send a tourist into one of those resorts. The campaign has been such a success that even now, after 15 years from the opening of the guest houses, most people still have no idea that the trip to the Maldives does not have to be this extremely expensive resort holiday.
Ah, that is so good.
And when we asked our local friend Saeed about it, this is what he told us.
In foreign countries, most of the people advertise in use in from this tourism side area. So that means tourism is for like Maldives tourism is for like celebrities or honeymoons. So they are very expensive. Yeah. So in the world, everybody feels like that. If Maldives means it's a very expensive country. But here in Maldives have for every budget customer also rooms available from $40 to $50,000 per night.
When continuing on Saeed's thoughts, the quality and price of local islands and guest houses is definitely the next thing that resorts would rather not want you to know.
That looks beautiful.
Without joking, the cheapest accommodation for us so far was $24 for a deluxe double room. Yeah, I know, it even sounded sketchy when we were booking it.
I think our accommodation is a little bit different this time. It's like a small house, like a small bungalow with a lot of windows.
There's so much light. It's really beautiful.
But hear me out. Most of the guest house workers here used to work with resorts before, and so the quality of service runs through the whole industry.
Just incredible welcome once again. Just look at this.
It almost feels like they don't know that luxury service is supposed to come together with a big price tag.
Fresh coconut water. Delicious.
For many times, we booked the cheapest place on the island that we were staying on, and the story was always the same.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Pretty good. I'm Joseph.
We were picked up from the local ferry on the dock.
Keep your bags here.
Oh wow!
And there was always someone to help us with our bags. Once in the guest house, iced towels,
Thank you, brother. Shukriya.
And complimentary drinks were just part of the service. It's really crazy how good the service was, and it also shows online. Most small hotels and guest houses have at least 9 out of 10 star score on booking websites.
Our bags are already in the room, like the first time in my life that this happens. You want to do something, you go for it.
And before coming here, I didn't even know that $25 to $50 a night could buy such luxury anywhere on our planet, least of which in the Maldives. Yet it does not end with the accommodation. Just hear what our Italian friend Chris had to say about it.
Well, it's a lot cheaper than expected, you know, like from outside they make it seem like it can be crazy expensive. Instead, if you come here, especially on a low season, and you talk directly to the agency, you will see that, you know, it can get a lot cheaper. Like today we got like maybe a lifetime experience for really less than 100 euros, so it's or a dollar, so perfect.
And it was for 2 people for 100. Crazy.
Yeah, really crazy. Like we all agree on this. You just need to come and see by yourself.
Here we were talking about an 8-hour tour we took together. It included lunch, some of the most amazing experiences of our life. For example, visiting Paradise Islands and swimming with the sharks. And all of this cost $50 per person from a local island.
Yeah, this is the best $50 I've ever spent.
And I kid you not, exactly the same thing booked from a resort would cost you anything between $200 and $400. The thing we heard from many locals was clear.
All the activities in the resort can available in the island. The only difference is only alcohol is not available from the island, local people live in the island, because by law, our law says people live in the island not allowed, it is prohibited.
Here in the Maldives, 90% of the experience you're gonna get is the same. The sea, activities, tours, and even the local food. Yet the difference in price tag can be enormous. I guess by now you're starting to understand where this video is going. I could spend another 10 minutes telling you how the same thing is happening with every other overpriced service, from entertainment to food. But instead, I would like to finish this video with something much more substantial. Something that resorts can never offer you. And this is the unique local culture. Over the last 2,000 years, Maldivians have developed this beautiful way of life. On some islands, it manifests itself as a symbiosis between sea creatures.
They are feasting!
And local fishermen who have fed their scraps to sharks and rays for a millennia.
They're very soft! Hello, friends!
On others, it's a mix of Islamic tradition and stress-free island lifestyle. Never ever in my life have I seen such an interesting combination before.
And it smells like the cleanest place on earth. Just like fresh apple soap smell.
During our 3-week stay in the Maldives, we had this incredible privilege of visiting 9 different islands. On average, we spent $49 per day per person. And honestly, I would never trade those experiences for however luxurious the villa over water would be.
Friends, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I really hope that this short film gave you a better understanding of this country and hopefully will make your travels here cheaper and easier. But just like I said during the video, I got good news for you if you would like to have more information about transport, budget, and pretty much everything else that comes together with traveling the Maldives. Together with Liisu, we have just finished putting together a budget travel guide for this country that will step by step show you how to have once in a lifetime experiences here for just a fraction of the cost. From how to choose the right island for you, to cheap tours and transportation, it's all in the travel guide. And to make it affordable for everybody, we have decided to share it with you for only $15 a copy. And I can literally promise you that it will save you hundreds if you read it before coming here to the Maldives. If you want to know more, check out the description for more information, and we will see you back on the channel next Thursday in a little bit less than a week. Take care and bye.